Hey there, and welcome to my laser review of this new film called Champions, and it stars Woody Harrelson and also directed by one of the Fairley brothers. These guys have directed some of my favorite comedies of all time, from Something About Mary to Dumb and Dumber and Shallow Hal. And truth be told, the marketing is bad because I didn't even know this film was out. When I was checking my Regal app, and I'm like, okay, what's at the local mall, and it popped up. I'm like, what is this? So I watched a trailer online and I'm like, okay, now I'm intrigued. So let's start off with some Sprite Zero, and I got some Evan Williams cherry, which is fantastic. But as I always talk about, was this movie any good? Should you go see it? How'd I feel about it? And it is a comedy in 2023. And before I go into that, best believe the rest of this review, I'm going to be very, very selective what I say on YouTube, because based on the material I have to go over, yeah, it's it's something you got to be careful. All right. So yes, we got Evan Williams Cherry, Sprite Zero. Let's try it out. Okay. Oh yeah.
It tastes so good.
So yeah, Woody Harrelson is a basketball coach. Some bad stuff happens. Then he has to coach a group of special needs kids. And that's all we're going to talk about before I start my intro, which is also why, as you can imagine, I'm going to be very careful on the words that I say talking about this film. All right. So let's drink some more of this and enjoy the intro. So good. Okay. Woody Harrelson plays a basketball coach named Marcus. He's coaching for minor league basketball, and like many characters in other films, he has aspirations and dreams for bigger and better things. He wants to be in the NBA. The short version is he gets into an argument with his boss, which is Ernie Hudson, also looks fantastic as he always does, and Marcus is out there drinking and driving like a jackass. He crashes into the back of a police car. Like, okay, dude, you done fucked up.
What an idiot.
As he's in court, a judge orders him to do 90 days of community service, and now because he has history as being a basketball coach, she wants him to coach a team of special needs kids, and thus the air quotes, because this is 2023 and you have to be careful what the fuck you say, okay?
I'm offended.
As this happens in other, films like from Mighty Ducks to Bad News Bears, he starts forming a bond with these kids, a bond that he wasn't expecting. And, the team starts getting better. He's an excellent coach. He has a love interest of Caitlin Olsen, who plays Deandra from Always Sunny, and she plays his part-time booty call. And, I just got to say this as my criticisms, because this is labeled as a comedy, and I had a gut feeling going into this would happen, is that, yes, while it's a comedy, this is also the age of 2023. Because I grew up watching films like Dumb and Dumber or Shallow Hal, and even Something About Mary. I'm used to this kind of comedy being a certain way. And I can't help but say this, that had this film been made, 5 years ago even, it would have been a very different comedy. And that's the main criticism I have, and it's something that I miss. This film, it plays everything very, very safe. I mean, we had about 10 people in my showing, and I gotta tell you guys that not one time during this film, not once I ever had a laugh out loud moment. It was a lot of smiling, a lot of chuckling, and just a lot of exposition, and a lot of time understanding these characters, their ins, their outs. And, Cheech Marin's in this film, and he has to give this whole breakdown of these individual characters, and just talking about not pitying them, having, them live a certain lifestyle, and they're a lot more independent than you think they are. And this is not a bad thing by any means. It has a strong message in of these are normal people, a little bit different, obviously. They are special, but they're not incompetent. But the thing is, with all great comedies, even Tropic Thunder, which for me and many people out there was the last great comedy, you can have message in, but you can also have laugh out loud moments. You can talk about something that's serious, but also be very raunchy and push the envelope. When it comes to a film like this, I feel like the director and the writers, these guys are very scared to push the envelope. They're even very scared to use certain words, and you know what the certain word is. As, friggin' Robert Downey would say in Tropic Thunder, I'm not going to quote it, but you never go full.
I'm sorry, we seem to be having some technical difficulties.
That word is used once, and of course, when it's used, Woody Harrelson punches the guy.
We got next.
Don't make me say it. Make you say what? That's a boo-boo word.
I mean, everything, as I said, is played safe. It's predictable. You see it coming a mile away. He has a booty call with Caitlin Olsen. Does it evolve into something more? What do you think? And eventually, as would happen with other franchises, he wants to become an NBA coach. He's only doing this out of obligation. And eventually, certain people start seeing what he's doing, taking this team of misfits, or in this case, special needs kids, and he starts making progress. And eventually, somebody gives him a phone call. And as I said, being predictable, what do you think happens? Woody Harrelson is Woody. He's charming, he's fun, and you can tell this is one of them films where he wasn't doing this for a big paycheck. He just had a ton of fun making this. Caitlin Olsen had a ton of fun making this as well. And I just, I liked it, but also I would tell you that if you walk into this expecting a raunchy comedy, a comedy where you're going to be laughing out loud, that's not going to happen. And it feels like a very heartfelt family film with comedy aspects, even though it's labeled as a comedy. And again, this is not a bad thing. I mean, it's one of them films where it's because they only drop one F-bomb in here, you could watch it with, for the most part, the whole family. It has great messaging of bonding, of love, of acceptance, which is all well and good, but it's also missing the comedy aspect that I was looking for. By all accounts, I wouldn't call this a bad film by any means, but to me, it's not memorable. It's not what I would call a great film, just because it's so tame and it's so safe. And this has become the problem with comedy over the past, 10 years, with everything, quote unquote woke and cancel culture. I miss the days where I would sit down, grab some popcorn, grab a drink, and just bust out laughing. And gotta say it one more time, not a single fucking person in the theater busted out laughing. We're just like, hey, it's smiling, some chuckling, and that's pretty much it. So would I recommend go and see this right now? Not by any means. This is, again, something I would call a wait for it at home. I would just say, wait for it to be on a streaming service, sit back, have a drink, have some food, watch it with, teenagers and stuff, maybe middle school kids, but don't expect any kind of belly laughter, and don't expect anything to push the boundaries. I cannot say this is going to be a great comedy or even memorable, fucking a year from now, because everything is just so safe and predictable. Sometimes safe and predictable is good, but when it comes to comedy, it also gets stale very fast. Just being honest, I miss the days where I'm just laughing so fucking hard at comedy for, being comedy. All right. So that's my review. All I can think about. Hope you had a good time. And as always, I'm going to check my watch, finish this, and then get ready for my job.
I hate my job.
But as always, I'm going to grab Bender. See you guys later. Okay.
This calls for a drink.
That is delicious. All right. Now I have to head back to work.